What's up, guys? Welcome to the second installment of the Last Word film analysis series. I'm your host tonight, Scott Kavertz. Glad to be with you guys, and today we are going to be looking at Sam Darnold, the young quarterback for the New York Jets. This video is for my younger brother Peter, who is a huge Jets fan. He's not necessarily a believer in Sam Darnold, but I wanted to show him, even though Darnold has had some struggles, he's definitely shown a lot of potential as well, and he's put together some really nice stretches of football, especially when you consider his lack of weapons and porous offensive line. So let's get right into it. Here is our first play, and on this one, the Jets, this is at the start of the game, it's a 3rd and 4, so it's a third down play against the Dallas Cowboys. This is a game that Darnold and the Jets won. It was actually his first game back. He had mononucleosis, and so he had been sick. He had a spinal brace, but he played this game, and he ended up throwing 2 touchdowns, led the Jets to an upset victory. So this play, early in the game, the Jets come out in 11 personnel, just like the Giants ran in our last video, if you guys were watching, which means they've got one halfback right up here next to Darnold. Okay? They've got 3 receivers, one up at the top, down here at the bottom, and they've got one in the slot here. So, right, they've got their top guy. He is their X, their number 1 wideout. On the bottom, they've got their slot in the middle, and their Z receiver on the very bottom. And then in between the slot and the Z receiver, the number 2, they have their tight end right here. Okay, so the Jets are running a simple pass combo on the top side, where, like the Giants ran last video, funny, they have Robbie Anderson, this guy, their top receiver here. He's running a curl, right, a little curl route, and Le'Veon Bell, the back, is flaring out, and it's a little curl flat read. But Sam Darnold doesn't like this pre-snap because, as you can see, this corner here, he's playing up, he's playing press man coverage, and against press man coverage, a curl route isn't usually that good because the guy can undercut it. He's not really letting you get separation. You like to throw a curl with a 5-6 yard cushion, so he doesn't like that. And the Cowboys defense, what they're in, is a 4-2-5. So they've got 4 down linemen, as you can see here, 4 rushers. They have 2 linebackers. One of them is here, and one of them is actually spaced out here, manned up on the tight end. And then they have 5 defensive backs. They're 2 corners, who one's down here, right, man on a receiver. One's up here, man on a receiver. They have 1 deep safety. The Cowboys are running what's called cover 1, meaning they have man-to-man coverage on everybody, and then they have 1 deep safety lurking in the middle of the field, and they have 1 linebacker / safety player, depending on the package. They're a nickel, so it's probably a safety, who just kind of lurks in this intermediate zone here, watches out for any underneath stuff. Otherwise, it's all man-to-man. 1 linebacker's manned up on tight end, another linebacker's manned up on the running back. We've got 2 corners manned up on the outside receivers, and then 1 other DB is just kind of lurking in the middle of the field. So the Jets on the bottom, which is the pass play that Darnold is looking to throw to, because, like I said, the top isn't a good look against this coverage. They are running a simple switch concept, meaning this guy, their tight end in the slot, he's going to run a little kind of like 2-step in curl route. He's going to almost block this guy right here, this corner safety, who is man-to-man on their number 3 slot receiver right here. And by running and blocking him, they give him the chance to get outside and run a little wheel route up the sideline. And this guy at the bottom, their Z receiver, he is going to clear space for the wheel route by running a little post. He's going to take an inside release. He's going to cut up, bring his man-to-man guy with him, and he's going to run a post to pull this safety. He's going to keep him in the middle of the field so that Darnold can throw this wheel route down the sideline without him getting over and picking it off. So it's a good play call, but it still requires a tight window throw, and Darnold does that. Takes a good drop. He doesn't have to switch off to a second read or anything here, but he manages to throw a dime into a fairly tight window. The receiver doesn't get super open, so let's see what happens. Right, Darnold drops back. As you can see, DB is right in his hip, so this is a tight window right here. He's running, and Darnold throws a dime. And this is not exactly, a show of Darnold's intelligence on this play, but it more of just is an example of Darnold having the ability to throw an accurate pass against some tight coverage. He's got the arm talent that's required to be an NFL quarterback. That's kind of what we're looking to show on this play. So, sorry, cut out for a second there. Show you the play again, right? Crowder, he's going to run down here. Darnold throws it right over his shoulder, gets it there before the safety can come in. Good completion. Now our second play comes later at the end of the first half, where the Jets have a small lead on Dallas, and they're pinned back at their own, I think it's 8-yard line, and they go play action, take a deep shot to Robbie Anderson. So here's the play, right? Again, the Jets come out in their 11 personnel package. Give me a second. Yep, 11 personnel package. They've got one receiver at the top, one receiver at the bottom. They've got their tight end on the line of scrimmage. He's going to pass block. They're going to go play action. Sam Darnold's under center in this play because they're going to have him drop back, fake a handoff to Le'Veon Bell back here. Because most teams would assume you're going to run when you're pinned back so far. And they're going to have this guy run a little kind of safety post route, a shallow post. When these linebackers get pulled up for the play action, they bite on the run fake. He can dump it down to them. But his real read here is throwing it deep, picking a side. He's got pretty much press on both sides. It's not super tight, but he's got a very shallow not shallow, but he doesn't go into the middle of the field. He stays kind of outside post from Robbie Anderson here, where he's going to run a post but stay outside the numbers because, again, it's cover one. So this safety is going to be deep in the middle of the field. So if Darnold decides to throw the post, he has to throw it kind of in this window before the safety can get over. And on the backside, he just has a good old stutter 9. Similar deep route. So that's what he's throwing. Like I said, Dallas is again in their 4-2-5, right? 4 down linemen. They've got their 2 linebackers, and they have their 5 DBs. And it's again cover 1, so it's man coverage, but then they've got 1 deep safety lurking, and they've got 1 guy lurking in the intermediate range. So as you can see, 27 here, he is manned up with this guy because he ran with him when they motioned him over. Otherwise, there's just man coverage on the outside here to here, here to here, and what they tried to do was actually disguise it pre-snap, confuse Darnold. They had this guy looking like the deep safety. He's going to come up and go man-to-man on the running back, whereas this safety here is going to drop deep right before the ball is kind of snapped when they're doing their motion, and he's going to become the deep safety in their cover 1 look. So what happens here is Robbie Anderson just runs a beautiful post route. He has a super great pound move that you guys will see in a second here. And the linebackers all bite up on the fake, and so there's just 3 DBs deep, right? Linebackers bite up on the play action fake. Robbie Anderson's going deep. He's going to make a little pound move here. Corner's going to jump this way, and then he's going to run his post right up in here. Sam Darnold's going to throw a beautiful pass to Robbie Anderson. Before the safety can get in here, it's going to go 92 yards for a touchdown. And again, not a super difficult read. He's just kind of staying on his first look, throwing to an open receiver, but it's a great cut by Robbie Anderson. And again, just good ball placement by Sam Darnold, showing he can make all the requisite NFL throws. And these are difficult throws. I mean, if you watch this pass, he has to avoid a little bit of a pass rush, kind of shake around a little bit. He still fires a pretty good pass, gets it over the safety and away from the corner on the guy's hip. So let's just take a look at Darnold's throw here. And there you go. Perfect pass. Let him get to Robbie Anderson. A nice touchdown. All right, guys, and now we are going to move on to our third and final play for this film analysis. This one comes a little bit later in the third quarter, and this, to me, is Darnold's most important play. He throws a really nice pass to Jamison Crowder, and you guys are going to see here. Okay, so this one, Darnold actually has to make a read. Again, and I don't mean that offensively. This one isn't just ball placement, although he does throw a good ball. Again, they're in 11 personnel. They've got their one back. They've got 2 receivers on the top side, 1 tight end in the slot here, and 1 receiver on the bottom side. So 3 total receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, and the 5 linemen. Dallas is again in their 4-2-5 defense, right? They've got their 4 down linemen. Excuse me, that was a big circle. 2 linebackers and their 5 DBs. But this time, the Jets are running the same play on the bottom as they ran on the first play, right? Very similar. They're running the switch concept. This outside receiver is going to run the post, hold the deep safety. He is going to run in a little bit, kind of block. But now, instead of having a third receiver down there to run the little wheel route, they have Le'Veon Bell, the halfback, kind of flare out here, and he just kind of stops in the flat. He doesn't go all the way up to a wheel route. But this time, Dallas's defense is a little bit different. Their corners on the outside are manned up with their top receivers. This is man-to-man. They still have their deep safety, but now instead of the rest of the guys being in man-to-man, they're kind of running almost like a cover 2 look with some man-to-man mixed in, because these guys, these extra safeties, they're going to buzz out to the flats, right? And then these 2 linebackers in the middle are both going to kind of lurk in here and not play man-to-man on a halfback. And so, on this one, when Darnold tries to look to Le'Veon Bell in the flat, because, this post route is pulling the safety in, and this corner's already run with him in man-to-man, just like on the other play, and this guy goes to set the pick, he tries to throw the flat, his eyes go down there, let me show you, and it's not there because the guy buzzes out into the flat, the DB. So, Darnold's first read is in there, and on top of that, he's going to get some pass rush. So let's actually take this one in slow-mo. Here we go. You can see this safety. He isn't buying it down here. He gets to the flat before Le'Veon Bell does, right? And then his kind of second look, this linebacker, he's got Leighton Vander Esch right over his shoulder. Not linebacker, excuse me, tight end. He's got Leighton Vander Esch, just hovering right over him. Not a good look. So Darnold, his first 2 looks aren't open. The post is off. That was kind of just to draw attention. There's a deep safety right there. He can't throw that. And this guy on the top side is just running like a 20-yard dig. So could be open late, but it's a really long developing route. And as you can see, Darnold's got some pressure in his face from this edge rusher here who beats his left tackle. So Darnold, if you can watch, he has to kind of avoid the sack. And he takes a nice sidestep to spin out of it right there. That was a huge play. Buys himself a little bit extra time with this little sidestep where he just takes a step over. And here's the key thing. He manages to flick his eyes over in time and see this receiver, who was his slot over here initially, running a nice little crosser route. And he can anticipate him. He throws a beautiful throw off of his back foot to this guy with great anticipation, because this corner is still in the way. The receiver's running right here, but Darnold anticipates the corner running with him. He throws it before this guy can come down and cut it off, and he throws a beautiful laser beam down the sideline off his back foot with pressure in his face on his third read. This is the type of professional throw that you want to see. This is the type of throw that an Aaron Rodgers can make. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make this throw. A guy like Kirk Cousins, as good as he is, I don't think he has the arm talent to make this throw. That's the nice thing with Sam Darnold here. So I'm going to play it all back for you, full speed. As you can see, Darnold here, his eyes, pre-snap, he looks down there, right? Avoids the sack, throws a laser beam to the sideline. That's a great throw by Sam Darnold. It's a good job of moving through his progressions, looking through his reads, and that to me was the most important play of the game for Darnold. For his progression, even though he had probably better, more impactful plays in terms of beating Dallas, because it really just showed Darnold not only has the arm talent, but he also has the mental processor up there. And, that's kind of been one of his main problems, if you watch most of his film, is he's a little slow to get to his second and third read, and he gets a little antsy in the pocket and doesn't really step up. He throws off his back foot. But there he showed you he's got the arm talent to, make those types of throws with pressure in his face, move on to his second, third read, anticipate it. So that's why I think Sam Darnold still has potential. Peter, you shouldn't give up on him. You just got to find, the right offensive system, put some weapons around him. Hopefully they'll go out into the draft, get a CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy type of guy. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys tonight, folks. As usual, thanks for watching. I'm your host, Scott Caverts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more vids like this, let us know in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Is Sam Darnold going to be good? Is he going to be a bust? Just let us know your thoughts. Thank you. I'm Scott Caverts. This has been The Last Word.